What's up, guys? Welcome back. Glad you're here. On today's episode, we got another deck from a company that's been making so much noise in this community. Who is it? Well, you should probably already know. We're going to be looking at the new Deckade deck by CardCutz. So, buckle in your seatbelts. We're going there. Let's go. The Deckade Playing Cards is the newest deck release from the team at CardCutz. If you're not familiar, CardCutz has been releasing so many great decks over the past year or two. It's crazy and they're on fire. This deck is brought to you and designed by the famous designer / magician Edo Huang, and this is a celebration of his 10 years of designing decks, hence the name Deckade. Now, Edo, if you're not familiar, is the popular designer in the popularized deck series Svengali with Alex Pandrea, as well as some of his own designs such as the coffee deck. The front of the tuck box is going to be all orange with a gradient of yellows, blues, reds, and white. You're going to see it's going to say 2020 in that stylized text font. It's going to say Deckade on the right bottom 0 there, once again in celebration of Edo. There's going to be no text font there on the sides until you get to the bottom. It's going to have some ad copy about CardCutz. The back of the tuck is going to be the back design of the cards, which we'll get into here shortly. There's going to be no tuck seal as well. The top of the tuck box is going to say Deckade in that yellow to orange gradient, and that's it for the tuck box. The back design on the cards themselves is going to say 2020, once again carrying over that same theme of this deck. At first glance, it's going to look like a two-way mirrored image, but I assure you it is not. This is a one-way image. As you can see, it's going to say Deckade there on one of the zeros, but not the other. You're going to have those medium to thin poker borders there, as well as a small, thin yellow border there go around the edge line, and that's it for the back design. This deck does come printed by the United States Playing Card Company on their crushed classic stock. It does have a traditional cut and an air cushion emboss, and this is a limited edition run of only 2,500 decks. With this deck, you're going to receive a CardCutz ad card like always. This time around, you're going to receive a duplicate card. That's right, a King of Diamonds duplicate holding that 7 of Hearts card reveal. The last two cards are going to be your jokers saying 20 and 20. They are original but not duplicates, as you can see, due to the colors, and it's going to have stars in each of the opposite corners. This is a 100% customized deck, as you can see from the pips and indices. The blacks are now that bluish kind of colorway, and the reds are still red with a little bit of orange. The courts are going to look very familiar. As you can see, they are that USPC standard or style. With all of the details, they're stripped from the inside of the clothing, as well as a large recoloring. This deck is great for cardistry, magic, or gameplay. The aces are all very well designed in the sense of more kind of depth and 3D imagery kind of put into those center pips. Until we get over to the ace of spades there, it's going to say Deckade underneath in that purple to bluish gradient, produced by CardCutz, and that's it for the deck. Join me now for my final thoughts. Alright, so you want to know my final thoughts on this deck? I give it a B-. That's right, a B-. This is a great deck of cards, very bright, very vibrant, and the story behind it is even greater. So if you guys are not familiar with Edo Huang, he has been designing in this community for quite some time. To be exact, a decade. That's right, 10 years. 10 years to do anything is just a lot, let alone to design cards. Now, he's also a very beloved magician as well. does a lot of great things on Instagram as well as behind the scenes on the community. He also has, you know, been well known because of his, you know, kind of group venture with Alex Pandrea in the Svengali series decks as well. He has his coffee decks and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool that he teamed up with CardCutz or vice versa to bring out such a great deck. Now, when I first got it, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of thrown off by the 2020. I said, wow, who wants to be reminded of this just grueling hell of a year? Certainly not me, and I'm sure many others don't want to be either. Until I started reading into it a little bit more and seeing what it meant and what this deck was about, and that's when my whole mind and whole everything kind of changed. So I'm glad that's not what it was about, and it was about him. So yeah. But a great deck all the way around. Like I said, the one-way design kind of throws me off. And to first look at it, it doesn't look like a one-way until you really look at it. Kind of a good thing for magicians, but you know me, if you've been watching me for quite a time, I don't like one-way designs. But that's my only argument about it. Well, the only other thing is the colorways for the quartz, the way the blues and the oranges kind of mesh in. It looks a little, not blurry, not bleedy, but it just, I don't know, the contrast, it's not sharp, it just looks together. But other than that, like I said, top-notch deck as always. CardCutz always delivers. You know, they know how to make a deck, period. So yeah, that's all I can say about this, guys. So make sure you guys go and check these out. Like I said, they only made 2,500 of these. They're already going super, super fast. A lot of people are picking these up. So don't miss out. All right. So everything will be down below as always in the description. That's all I can say, guys. So I do want to thank CardCutz for allowing me to have this deck so I could do the review for you. And if you enjoyed this review, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you beautiful people on the next one. Yeah.